sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you were fine. All right, if you just wouldn't mind starting by stating and spelling your first and last name.
Sure, I'm Tory Bruno, Tory Bruno, CEO of United Launch Alliance.
So, Mr. Bruno, why don't you just start by telling us why you wanted the media here today? What did you want to show to us?
Because this is the coolest thing you're going to see all week. I mean, come on, you're in a giant rocket factory. It's full of hardware. We're actually building rockets at a pretty high rate right now, so we're stacking them up literally like cordwood. And honestly, I just love rockets, and I always have time to show my rockets to people.
Where did your love of rockets start?
I built my first rocket when I was 8 or 9 years old. I found a case of 80-year-old dynamite in the back of my grandmother's barn and some old wrought iron pipe, and I made some rockets. And I'm proud to say two things. One of them made it almost as high as this ceiling before it detonated, and two, I'm alive today to talk to all of you.
So the Vulcan is the future.
Yes.
Can you walk us through some of the differences between the Atlas and the Vulcan?
Yes, so the Vulcan is a much larger, much more powerful rocket. So what we retired last year was the Delta IV Heavy, which is literally a 3-core rocket, or 3 rockets bolted together. This one Vulcan in its single core with its solids actually has more lift capacity than that 3-core Delta IV Heavy. So it is substantially less expensive than that because it's only one rocket. One core is much less expensive than 3. And it has a tremendous amount of flexibility with the solid rocket motors that we can add or subtract from Vulcan. We have really kind of like 4 different first stages. We can have 0, 2, 4, or 6 solids. And that gives us a lot of flexibility, not only to fly these very exotic orbits for the United States government, but we can fly very heavy payloads efficiently to LEO. We take that booster with all the solids, we take that Centaur 5 upper stage I just showed you guys in a shorter version, and then we are a very efficient LEO lifter. One of the funny things, since you asked a rocket science question, one of the funny things about that is a smaller upper stage in this architecture actually carries more mass into LEO. Because the full-sized upper stage, you just can't use all the propellant. First stage is delivering a first stage into LEO, still full of gas, so any gas that you can't burn to go to a LEO mission is wasted away.
During the tour, you kind of mentioned, spending a lot of money on turning the entire facility into, transitioning into an automated process. How much of the facility now is automated versus actual manpower going into it?
Gosh, well, it is absolutely now and will always be a mix of skilled craftsmen and humans doing that work and the automation. But, if I had to put a number on it, I would have to say it's probably a good 80% automated now. Interestingly enough, that doesn't take people away. Those sophisticated robots and all that equipment we just showed you takes a lot of people to operate them properly and to keep them tuned and running correctly. So it really just changes the skills a little bit, but the labor doesn't disappear.
Is that kind of an adaptation as new technology kind of arrives?
Yes. So, you don't develop a new heavy class space launch vehicle, but every decade or two. And when you do that, is your opportunity to refresh the technology, not just on the rocket, but also in the factory. So this is like a big opportunity for us to really bring everything to state of the art, and then it will go forward for the next couple of decades. We'll continue to improve the rocket, so we'll have opportunities in the factory too. And one of the things we didn't talk about when I was showing you all of those complex weld processes is that's one of the places where we bring artificial intelligence into the factory to help us make the skilled personnel more effective. So for example, that upper stage's got 18,000 welds on it. Every single weld has to be sound. It's a pressure vessel holding the most energetic, flammable rocket fuels that are in practical use today. So you can't have any leaks at all. So 18,000 welds, we have at least 2, often 3 people that will look at every weld to make sure they're good. That's a lot of welds. And so with AI, we can screen the welds ahead of time and help the people be more effective. So there's a lot of applications like that in the factory as well.
I'm glad you brought it up. How beneficial has AI been for ULA's process?
Yeah, we are just now bringing it into the factory, so I don't know the whole story yet. So we're at kind of the beginning of our journey, but so far it is very, very, very productive, and we're pretty excited about it.
Well, as somebody who is from Alabama, I can promise you when people think of Alabama, most of the time they don't think rocket scientists. So, I mean, this is a huge operation y'all have here that's kind of a hidden gem in the state. Talk about what it's like working here and being able to bring this kind of business to Alabama.
Alabama is a great place to do this work. You're right, a lot of people elsewhere in the country don't think of Alabama that way, but especially this part of Alabama has a rich rocketry heritage all the way back to Apollo. There's great universities here, there's great technicians here who really want to be craftsmen and work on the most exciting kind of hardware. So I wouldn't do this anywhere else. The workforce here cares about our missions. We love rockets because rockets are cool, but really the rocket has no intrinsic value. It's what the rocket is taking into space. So having a workforce that cares about that and puts their heart and soul into designing and building these things, that's everything. I mean, I told you that we spent $500 million modernizing this factory. All of that stuff is meaningless and has no value without the people who operate it. This is the place to be.
So, with all of this automation and just where space travel and rocketry is going, compared to the dynamite that you started with, how does that make you feel?
Oh, it's super exciting. I've been at this a long time. I mean, I'll confess, I've been doing this work about 40 years. I have launched over 400 rockets. I have developed over 36 different systems. It never gets old. There's always something new. It's super exciting. I get butterflies in every launch. And as I look to the future of space, where you're going to see so much more commercialization, and you're going to see different kinds of transport through space, not just to space, as well as just tremendous natural resources that we're going to tap into very soon. Going back to the moon, it's like my first day on the job.
You said 500 million roughly for the operation.
Yeah, I didn't clear this with comms, but yeah, scoop for you guys. We've never released the number before, but yeah, about 500 into this factory and the associated infrastructure.
Just real quick, going back to the Alabama talk, Huntsville, Decatur, kind of a lot happens here. Can you talk to me about, having those connections with, different companies within it, and, being able to kind of work on very similar paths forward as kind of together between the companies?
Yeah. So this is a great ecosystem for aerospace and rocketry, and probably the best example is Blue Origin just down the road where we buy our engines from for our first stage rocket booster. We work very closely with them. It's a great engine. They designed it around our requirements, so it's sort of perfect for us. They will use it as well in their rocket. And so we have a lot of relationships like that here, and it makes it a lot easier when you're kind of together in one geographic location and you can, work as a team.
One more question. I think I'm good.
I'm good.
I think we're good.
Okay.